Hey guys, I'm John Peters and this is my second painting class for 2017. This is a class that's designed to be a fun, stress-free way to try painting. The focus is on mixing color and learning about shape and light. There'll be a list of all the materials that you need on my website along with the images. Search painting class number 2, 2017, print the images out, and you can follow along. Let's go ahead and get started. The first step is to go to my website and find the images. This is the one you're going to work from, and this is the one you're going to paint on. I like to print the images out on matte photo paper. It's just a little bit tougher and thicker, and I think it works better. So now I'm using a straight edge to cut the image out. And then you'll glue the image to either a piece of plywood, a piece of cardboard, or this is what I use. It's really nice. This is made by Ampersand. It's a panel for painting on, designed for painting on. And you want to glue the image onto the panel using matte medium. And to make it dry a little faster, you can use an iron. And this will flatten out the paper and also speed up the drying process. And now again, I'm going to use a little matte medium to seal the paper. And you can use the blow dryer to make the matte medium dry faster. Okay, so now we're ready to start painting. We'll take a quick look at what we got here. This is what we're working off of. Here is our paint by numbers all ready to go. And I think we should take a quick look at the palette. Just talk about some of the colors we have here. There's not a lot, mostly primary colors. Primary colors are yellow, red, and blue. And so I've got cadmium yellow, titanium white, cerulean blue. This time we're adding phthalo blue also, cadmium red, and I always use this, which is burnt umber. We'll just get started with number 1 and use straight cadmium yellow. For color number 2, here and here, we'll mix cadmium yellow and a little bit of burnt umber. We'll add just a little cadmium red. And now more cadmium yellow. And now for 3, we'll add a little cadmium red to the yellow we just made. And a little burnt umber to that. Now for this part of the lemon where it's getting less light, we'll make it a little bit darker by adding more burnt umber. So we'll paint this and then we'll use the same color right here at the front of the lemon. Now I'm working on color number 7. It's a red orange, and I'm going to start with cadmium red, and I'll pull that into the color I've been working with. Add more of the burnt umber, more of the cadmium yellow, and more of the cadmium red. And I'm going to put just a little bit of white in there. I don't think the color works really great with 7, but it works pretty good with 6. So I'm going to paint 6 right here. For 7, I'm just going to add a little more of the cadmium red to the color that I just made, and just a little more of the burnt umber. Because this area of the painting should be lighter. The light source is from here, so the table here should be lighter than this area. I'm going to add just a little white to this section and work it in. Number 5 is the shadow of the lemon, so we'll start with burnt umber. Take a little of the color we just made, and that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to work on color number 8. I like working on these big blocks of color. It's real abstract. It's fun to have a still life, something that you can grab onto, something that you can recognize. But it's often fun just to paint blocks of color, just abstractions. So a color like this, to me, is just, there's something beautiful about it. So I'm going to start mixing that color. I will grab some white. I let my palette knife be kind of dirty because I felt that there were some of those burnt umbers and reds in the color. I'll take a little black from over here. A real small amount of cadmium yellow. And a little cerulean blue. That looks pretty close. Number 9 is a shadow of this bowl, a shadow of the lemon, and just a shadow of the table. There's a space between the table and the wall, and it's creating this shadow. So for this, I'm going to take the color that I have and just add a little black. That might be too much, so I'm going to put that over here. I'm adding a little burnt umber to that color. A little more white, and just a little blue. Color 9 is really similar to color 10, so I'm just going to use the same color and see how that works. This is a napkin, and so you still have a shadow from the lemon, but it's a shadow on something white as opposed to something dark. And then for color 11, I'll lighten that up a little bit by just adding a little white. So I'm adding a little white to the color that I used on 9 and 10. Color 12 has a little blue in it. I'm just using a very small amount of cerulean blue. Color 13 is almost white. It's just a little warmer. That's just a little bit warmer than straight titanium white. And I'm going to use the same color for color 14 because it's really not that much different. And I'll probably just change it a little bit when I start to go back into the painting. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm following the rules of this paint by numbers, just painting the areas, and that creates color planes that make up the picture. And then I'll go back and maybe blend some of these planes so they might make a little more sense. This will be fun. We're going to add a little color now with color number 17. I'll start with cerulean blue. Now I'm using a little of the white that I just mixed up for what's the napkin. That's what it's a napkin in the image. Here's cerulean blue. And this is where I'm going to add just a little of this phthalo blue. A little of this blue really goes a long way. And that's way too dark, so I'm going to grab more of this gray color that I mixed up earlier. Even more white. And that looks pretty good. This part of the bowl is a little bit darker and this part is a little bit lighter. So I'll use the same blue and darken it up a little bit with maybe just a little bit of black, and then I'll add a little white to get this lighter color. I think I'll add a little burnt umber. And now I'll add this little bit of a darker blue on 16 here. And this just represents a bit of a reflection of the light. It's pretty subtle, but I think it makes a difference. Okay, so now we've basically got the painting. We've done what we've got on the numbers here, the paint by numbers. But now I'm going to start to blend some of these colors and just try to make the lemon look round instead of just these plateaus of color. I'm going to add a little white right in the front of the lemon as a highlight. The light is coming from this side. And then we have this yellow, and I just want to blend these in a little bit, blend them together. I picked up a little of the burnt umber on my brush, and I'm going to put that in the back of the lemon. It's the darkest part because the light's really not hitting it. Now I'm using a little straight, or just cadmium yellow I should say, and I'm going to pull that into here a little bit, just pull it back. Soften that all up. Now I've got titanium white on my brush, and I'm just going to add little highlights where that light is hitting, and maybe pull some of that into the stem of the lemon there. To have a more painterly feel on the wall, I've got titanium white on my brush, and I like just to have a lot of light because basically the light source is coming from this way. And so if I start with the white here and just keep working it back, it will make it appear that the majority of the light is coming from this direction. and I'll just work it right back to where that shadow is. And again, I'm using white right at the titanium white unmixed, right at this white napkin here. And I might do that back here. And I'm going to lighten this blue up a little bit, or maybe just add a highlight. I just want to darken the back of the lemon up a little bit. Oh man, what did I do? Let me see this thing. Maybe I can fix it. Now I've got a dry brush. I'm going to just try to soften that up a little bit. I'm adding a little more titanium, or I'm adding a little more yellow right here. And I'll just work that back. Well, I'm pretty happy with the way this little painting turned out. I had fun with it. I hope that you'll try it. Remember, just take your time. If you start to get stressed out, walk away from it and then come back. Sometimes it's nice to walk away from a painting for a day and the paint dries a little bit if you're working with oils, and then you can come back and have a little bit more control. So again, it's all about having fun and not getting stressed out with it. If you like this painting, I'm going to give it away in kind of a shameless way to try to build my art video audience. And I'm going to share this on my Facebook. So to enter the giveaway, just go to my Facebook and share that post, and you'll be entered to win, and I'll pick somebody at random next week, probably Thursday or Friday, and I'll announce that on Facebook. Before I send the painting out, I will add a little frame to it, a little strip frame that I make with one of these 5-gallon paint stirrers. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.